Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to make another one of these videos where I share all of my special little opinions on music with you so you can fight me about it. So I'm just going to come in strong right out of the gate here, and I'm going to attack one of rock's greatest icons of all time, and I'm going to just have to go ahead and say that AC/DC, they're not very good. I really think that they're one of the most overrated bands of all time. And if they're your favorite, then I'm sorry. It just seems like one of the most basic and stripped down and formulaic forms of classic rock that there is out there. I think that pretty much so anybody could write one of their chord progressions if you gave them a guitar and an hour to work on it. Some of the lead guitar riffs are kind of cool, and like that's probably the only real saving grace for AC/DC to me, but the songwriting is just like really, really simple and basic. I can't get behind the vocal tone. I get that they've had like a few different singers in the rotation, and none of them have really had a very aesthetically pleasing kind of sound to their ear at all. Wait, what? None of them have had a very pleasing tone to their voice at all for me, and it hasn't been like harsh and grating and hardcore in a cool way, but more like a that guy sounds like he's having a problem kind of way. I guess they exude that badass rocker kind of attitude, and their lyrics sort of reflect this too, so I can see the appeal of that on some level, but it's also like one of the most basic, overstated ways that I've ever heard this kind of message relayed in music too. So AC/DC, one of the greats, they're not that special, they're not really it for me. However, when I go to turn on the radio, or if there happens to be a cover band playing near me or something, then it's almost guaranteed that I'm going to hear an AC/DC song in the span of the time that I'm listening. Okay, moving on. My next opinion is that people who incessantly make requests for the band at a live music event are absolutely terrible and insufferable. One request I can forgive: if you're going to stand there in front of the stage and constantly interrupt me and ask me to play 5 different songs, then let's just say I'm going to take exception to that. We as the band have practiced a certain set list of songs in order to be ready to play that gig. We made sure that we knew what we were doing beforehand, and we practiced really hard and made sure we were giving it our all on this one certain half-hour or hour block of songs. In my band, as an alternative, pseudo-progressive, doom metal punk band, we probably didn't practice Give Me 3 Steps or Welcome to the Jungle before we showed up to this gig, right? So we probably don't know how to play the song that you're requesting, and we also probably are not going to be able to or want to learn it in 10 minutes while we're on stage in front of an audience at our gig, right? And the person who comes up and makes a bunch of requests that the band can't fulfill, all they're really doing is distracting the band so they aren't able to play their music, which is also bringing down the enjoyment of the rest of the audience. So do you really want to go up there and beg some stranger to play Give Me 3 Steps for you and ruin everybody else's night? Or do you just want to sit down and enjoy what the band has prepared for you to hear? And I get if it's like a cover band kind of event that you're at, the request thing is generally a lot more accepted, and it kind of goes over a lot better in that kind of environment. Maybe the band actually will be prepared to play the song that you want. But if you just go up to like an all-ages venue on a night where bands are playing all original music and you start like requesting silly old rock songs, go home. So my next opinion is about how people say that prog rock or really serious guitar music in general is self-indulgent and self-serving. You better watch out, because I could really go on and on about progressive music just for hours and hours, but I'm just going to keep this to a short opinion this time. Well, I'm probably going to talk about prog rock in this series a lot, but I'm just going to keep it to short chunks about. Anyway. A lot of people dislike the genre because they say it's too self-indulgent, or it's just all about guys who are really good at playing just showing off their playing skills without any sort of good songwriting going on. And I can see how that would be the case for some, but across the board, I don't really think that prog rock as a genre is really only about showing off the technical aspects of your playing. I think it's more so just about doing something with music that breaks the mold a little bit, something that's original or at least really, really out of the ordinary. That's what I really get out of the prog genre. You can find great examples of this in bands like Porcupine Tree, where they really don't do a lot of noodly guitar solo type of stuff, and they're more so focused on just creating a really solid foundation for a song. It's not true for all their music. Of course, Porcupine Tree has some stuff that absolutely, completely shreds, and they also have some stuff that's really bordering on the pop and safe, like radio rock kind of end of things, too. But I think that Steven Wilson, as a musician in general, is not really about showing off in the traditional sense. And he's really a composer that's more about serving the song and serving the composition as a whole, more so than trying to serve his own ego as a really good instrumentalist. And of course, Porcupine Tree and Steven Wilson work really close with Opeth too. Opeth is another band that's just like absolutely amazingly artistic, and they've proven over the years that they're willing to evolve their sound and not get stuck on certain trends and give us something new and exciting every time. And I also think that Tool is another really good progressive metal band who is amazing at serving the composition of the song, more so than trying to be like, look at our guitarist or look at our drummer, isn't he the greatest performer of ever, right? Even though I gotta say, Danny Carey from Tool, he is a hell of a drummer. Like, he is one of my favorite drummers of all time, for sure. And now that I've outed myself as a Tool fan, now I know that most of you out there hate me, and I definitely understand where some of the hate comes from. Some of the fandom is totally cringy, and I understand that if that's the only thing that you know about Tool, you probably won't like them. But there's like actually a lot more to them and their music than just the annoying, super woke, the stereotypical type of Tool fanboy who is going to sit there and talk your ear off about the Fibonacci sequence for 10 minutes to try to make themselves look more intellectual. It's just like, whatever. I wish that stigma about the band didn't exist at all, because it's just really well-composed music. It really breaks the mold. It employs these progressive rock techniques of using like odd time signatures and mixed time signatures in a way that really imparts a solid sense of groove and rhythm, and not just being a random mashup of complicated stuff just for the sake of being complicated. Tool is great at this. So I don't think it's the smartest, deepest music that was ever created, but I definitely think it's a lot more so that than a lot of music is. I think that they go a lot deeper and try a lot harder than most musicians out there do, and I really think that a lot of the haters need to give them a chance if you never really have, because you might end up having a new favorite band on accident. Anyway, we're going to call it here for this time. Thanks everybody for sticking around, and please do let me know what you think down in the comments. One of the main reasons that I'm making these videos is for the sake that I want people to fight me, so definitely come and let me have it. And aside from that, I'm hoping that you'll click the like and the subscribe, and that you'll follow me for more recipes. I'm trying to do the Patreon thing too, so if you sign up on my Patreon, I got some cool perks on the channel. You're all smart people who probably watch a lot of YouTube, so I'm not going to spend too much time explaining that one anymore. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have fun out there.